Love him or hate him, everybody knows President Trump is a master deal maker. He literally wrote the book on it. What most people don't know is that he just closed what could be the biggest deal of his presidency. And thanks to this new deal, he'll begin to deploy a super artificial intelligence model across the U.S. government. An AI model that has been called a game changer in AI innovation, the future of AI, and a revolutionary leap forward. And unlike his other presidential deals, for the first time ever, everyday Americans like you can actually get in on this deal, starting with just $500. This super AI is about to make the U.S. government a lot more efficient, but the government is just the beginning. According to Jeff Brown, the tech investing legend who picked NVIDIA in 2016 before it jumped 28,000% higher, this AI will quickly evolve into the world's first superhuman-like AI, an AI that can learn, think, and solve problems across the board, just like humans, but 1,000 times smarter. Elon Musk believes this model will reach that level of intelligence within the next 12 months. And it could make a lot of people rich because according to NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang, this next-gen AI will eventually transform every single industry on the planet and create $100 trillion in total value. To put that into perspective, that's worth almost 25 NVIDIAs. So, if you missed out on the massive gains from NVIDIA during this AI boom, this could be your second chance. In fact, Jeff Brown is predicting this AI model will be so powerful that it will be able to find the cure for many deadly diseases, discover new sources of unlimited clean energy, leading to a new age of prosperity, power autonomous robots in factories, leading to a rebirth of Made in America, trigger the biggest economic boom since the Roaring '20s, and mint more millionaires and billionaires than any other breakthrough in history. And you could go along for the ride by simply taking a stake in the AI company behind this Trump deal. Some of the smartest investors on the planet have already done so. For example, the legendary venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz already invested in it. In case you didn't know, this is the same firm that invested in Twitter, Facebook, Airbnb, Coinbase, and Zoom before they went public. Sequoia Capital, one of the largest VCs in the world, is also in. That's the firm that invested in big winners like NVIDIA, Google, Apple, PayPal, and OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT. Wall Street giants BlackRock and Fidelity, which have a combined $17 trillion in assets under management, have also invested in the company behind this Trump deal. Normally, this type of investment would be reserved only for the rich and well-connected. But today, angel investor and former tech executive Jeff Brown will show you how you can claim your stake in this AI firm without having connections in Silicon Valley, without having to be an accredited investor, and without having to be rich. In fact, you can get started with as little as $500, and it's as easy as buying any other stock. You see, this super AI model was developed by Elon Musk and his private AI company, xAI. After signing this deal with the U.S. government, Elon Musk said, "We look forward to continuing to work with President Trump and his team to rapidly deploy AI throughout the government for the benefit of the country." Most people don't know this, but there is a way for everyday folks like you to get into this Trump deal by taking a stake in Elon Musk's private AI company, xAI. Jeff Brown, an angel investor who's invested in hundreds of private companies, is about to show you how to get started with as little as $500. I hope you understand how special this opportunity is. Just imagine if you were able to partner with Elon Musk on Tesla in its early days when it was still a private company. In May 2007, the company was worth an estimated $250 million. Since then, its market cap has jumped enough to turn $1,000 into $4 million. Of course, everyday folks never had that chance. They had to wait until the company actually went public. By then, the biggest gains had already been made. Today, you do have a chance to get into xAI before a potential IPO, but you're going to have to act fast. See, Elon Musk is already planning to raise more than $10 billion in a new funding round at a much higher valuation. Jeff Brown believes this could happen as soon as November 1st. So, if you want to get the best possible deal in xAI, you must get in now before that next funding round. We've got no time to waste here. Here's Jeff Brown with all the details.
Hi, my name is Jeff Brown. I'm a former senior executive of three major public tech companies, Qualcomm, NXP Semiconductors, and Juniper Networks. Three firms that now generate more than $50 billion in annual sales. And I'm also an angel investor who's invested in hundreds of deals involving private companies with returns as high as 5,300%, 7,367%, and an even mind-blowing 19,529%. Because of my tech expertise, I've advised senior officials at the Department of Commerce, policymakers, members of the National Institutes of Standard and Technology, and the Defense Intelligence Agency, and thanks to all that experience, I've been way ahead of the curve when it comes to this AI boom. For example, in February of 2016, when almost nobody was talking about artificial intelligence, I picked NVIDIA as one of my favorite stocks, and today, it's probably the most popular stock in the world. Shares have jumped by more than 23,000%. That's enough to turn $1,000 into $240,000. The following year, in 2017, I picked the chipmaker AMD as my favorite stock, and today, AMD is another major AI player. And anyone who listened to me and held on had a chance to turn $1,000 into $19,000. In 2018, I made a very bold prediction about self-driving Teslas. Back then, most people thought it was just science fiction. The media was calling Elon Musk a fraud, and Wall Street analysts were predicting Tesla was about to crash. Virtually everyone thought that shares of Tesla were overpriced because they were analyzing it as a car company. But I actually recommended it to my readers because I had a different view. Here's what I wrote back then. When I think about Tesla, I see one of the leading artificial intelligence companies in the world. This is the incredible part that most don't see or understand. Tesla designed a software AI platform designed to operate cars. Today, Teslas do have the ability to drive themselves. The Tesla Model Y has become the best-selling vehicle in the entire world. And instead of crashing, shares have jumped as high as 2,150%, which means those who listened to me and held on had a chance to turn $1,000 into up to $22,500. And that's really just a small snapshot of my AI track record. For example, I also picked Palo Alto Networks, a company that's using AI in the cybersecurity space. Shares have jumped as much as 808%. I picked semiconductor company ASML Holdings before it skyrocketed 582%. And I picked Lam Research, another AI chip stock that's also up big. As you can see, folks who held on had a chance to pocket some big returns. Now, of course, these are some of my best picks, but the truth of the matter is a lot of people are already getting rich from AI. But if you've missed all of my past big winners like NVIDIA, Tesla, AMD, and all these stocks that I just mentioned, I do have good news. You now have a rare chance to partner with Elon Musk by claiming a stake in his private company, xAI. And I believe that's the company that will win the AI race. You see, virtually all of the big tech firms are in a race towards this next generation of AI, an AI that can think and learn just like a human, an AI that can handle any task that we can, from writing books to coding, but do it much faster and much smarter. And in order to achieve that, we'll need a lot more computer power. And that's why big tech has been investing billions of dollars into these types of AI supercomputers. They know this is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. Now, I've been researching this for years. In fact, I've even traveled across the country to see some of these supercomputers with my own eyes. For example, I went to Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin to check out Microsoft's AI supercomputer. I went to Council Bluffs, Iowa to research Google's project, and to Ashburn, Virginia, where Meta has one of their largest AI facilities. As Axios says, Meta, Google, and the Microsoft OpenAI Alliance are in the quest for the AI industry's holy grail. Now, as you can see, the media hasn't been mentioning Elon Musk in that race. Why? Well, because he's been late to the party. He launched his xAI company in July of 2023. That's 8 years after OpenAI was created. When OpenAI released ChatGPT in late 2022, xAI, it didn't even exist. So most people thought that Elon Musk would have no chance of ever catching up. Now, the odds were clearly stacked against him, but if you look at Elon Musk's career, at every single one of his ventures, the odds were always stacked against him, and yet, somehow, Elon Musk always seems to find a way to win. For example, what were the odds that you could successfully launch a digital payment platform in 1998 when only 41% of adults were using the internet? And if you remember, we only had slow dial-up connections. I'd say the odds were pretty low, and yet Elon, along with other co-founders, pulled it off with PayPal. Today, PayPal allows individuals and companies to get paid in more than 25 currencies in over 200 countries. It is the highest valued digital payment platform in the world, and it has made its investors filthy rich. How about Tesla? What were the odds that someone with no experience in the auto industry would launch an entirely new car company that would compete with Ford, with GM, Toyota, Mercedes, BMW, and all the auto giants that have been operating for decades? Again, I'd say the odds were close to zero. In fact, later Elon himself admitted that launching Tesla was idiocy squared, and yet today, the Tesla Model Y is the best-selling car in the entire world. Not just the best-selling electric car, the best-selling car, period. It outsells popular cars like the Toyota Corolla and the Ford F-Series. And Elon is already selling more Cybertrucks than almost all other EV trucks combined. Now, it's the top-selling luxury vehicle in the United States, leaving companies like Mercedes and Porsche behind. When you look at the market cap, Tesla has become nearly as valuable as all the next top 10 automakers combined, making its investors filthy rich in the process. And how about SpaceX? What are the odds that someone with zero training in rocket science would be able to beat aerospace incumbents like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Boeing? Now, I'd say it was impossible, and yet, after reading books about rockets and talking to industry insiders, Elon was able to build a radically better rocket technology at a fraction of the cost. Today, SpaceX is the sole U.S. provider for crewed missions to the International Space Station. SpaceX was also the first company to ever create a reusable rocket, a rocket that goes up into orbit and returns back to Earth, not by a parachute, but by returning to the launch pad and landing vertically. Not even NASA was able to figure that out. The bottom line, SpaceX has completely revolutionized the space industry and made its private investors filthy rich. Or how about Neuralink? What were the odds that someone with no experience in the healthcare industry and neuroscience would be able to implant computer chips in human brains and help people with paralysis control computers with their thoughts alone? Again, I'd say the odds were close to zero, and the New York Times even mocked Elon and said his idea was, and I quote, science fantasy. Yet, today, Neuralink's first patient, a man who had suffered a spinal cord injury and was paralyzed from the neck down, is indeed able to browse the internet and play computer games whenever he wants, all with his thoughts alone. No wonder the valuation of Neuralink is also exploding higher. It has jumped from $471 million in 2019 to about $8 billion today. That's a growth of 1,598%, and it is still just a startup. PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, in every single one of those companies, the odds were stacked against Elon, and yet he found a way to win and turned all of those companies into huge successes worth billions of dollars. So if there's one thing that we can take away from all these past successes, it's this: you should never bet against Elon. Now that's pretty obvious to me, but I guess the mainstream media is just not smart enough, because they also mocked him when he started his AI company, xAI. In July of 2023, Elon announced that he was getting into the AI race and that the mission of his new firm, xAI, was to build artificial intelligence technologies to accelerate human scientific discovery. Now remember, that was a full year before OpenAI launched ChatGPT, and like I said before, most people thought he wouldn't be able to catch up. Wired magazine even published this headline mocking Elon, saying that his company xAI was hallucinating its chances to compete with ChatGPT. They wrote, xAI seems likely to lack the cloud computing power needed to match OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google. And its relatively small team of AI researchers does not look world-beating compared to the hundreds that each of those established firms can deploy on AI projects. Now, on the surface, the odds of him beating ChatGPT may have appeared to be almost zero. But here's the thing most people still don't understand. When Elon Musk enters a race, he's not getting into the race to compete. He is getting into the race to win. He said it himself. My philosophy is you play to win. You don't play by half measure. Now, he is not fooling around. He came into the AI space to destroy and dominate his competition. And in order to do that, he decided to build the world's most powerful computer, what he calls Project Colossus. Many so-called experts told him that a complex project like that would take a few years to build. Even the CEO of NVIDIA said that it would typically take 3 years to build it from scratch. But get this, from start to finish, Elon did it in just 122 days, which is why the CEO of NVIDIA later called him superhuman. Elon believes anything worth doing is worth doing fast. Otherwise, you risk falling behind the competition. Just listen to what he said. Any given thing can be sped up. However fast you think it can be done, it can be done faster. Our fundamental competitiveness depends on being faster than any other AI company. Good luck competing with a guy like that. I believe Elon's competitors will have no chance in this AI race. As NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang says, Colossus is easily the fastest supercomputer on the planet, and it is still a work in process. Elon is planning to increase its computing power by 500% beginning this summer. And when all is said and done, Colossus will have 33 times more computing power than ChatGPT. And that's why Medium.com says Colossus is not merely a supercomputer, it's the breeding ground for what Musk believes could evolve into artificial superintelligence. And this supercomputer is not the only reason why I believe Elon will win this race. I believe he's also built the best team of engineers. In 2023 alone, he hired more than 5,000 AI engineers, and not just any engineers. Elon is an absolute magnet for talent. The best engineers on the planet want to work with him because they know he's always working on projects that could change the world. And that's why Elon was able to attract some of the best engineers from Google and Microsoft. Elon also has access to data other AI companies don't have. His social media site X has become the world's #1 app for news. It's an incredible source of information and human-generated data, which Elon is using to train his AI. So what happens when you combine the genius of Elon and his team with the world's most powerful supercomputer and massive amounts of data that no other company has? Well, the result is Grok 3, the latest version of his AI. It's already blowing everyone's mind. The media is definitely not mocking Elon anymore. Instead, Fortune said Grok 3 is potentially the next leader in AI models. In an AI evaluation, Grok 3 achieved a record-breaking score, outperforming Google's Gemini, DeepSeek's V3 model, Anthropic's Claude, and OpenAI's GPT-4o across math, science, and software coding benchmarks. And remember, unlike other AI models, Grok gets better every day. But what's really incredible here is how fast all of this happened. Just take a look at this. OpenAI has been working on ChatGPT since 2018. That's 7 years. Just 6 months ago, nobody would even consider xAI as a serious player, except me, of course. Today, Grok 3 is state-of-the-art in all categories. The speed of improvement here is really breathtaking. And it's a big reason why I believe Grok will evolve into the world's first superhuman-like AI. It is all about speed. As Elon Musk said, all you need to know to understand which company will win a technology competition is to look at the first and second derivatives of the rate of innovation. Now, in plain English, what he's saying is that since Grok is improving so much faster than all other models, the only logical conclusion is that it will win this race. Now, that will be especially true once Elon Musk upgrades Colossus with even more computational power, which he said will happen as early as this summer. Most people don't realize that this will be the most disruptive technology ever invented, and it's going to happen very quickly. Take search engines like Google, for example. Grok 3 is a real-time AI model, and that means it can search the internet in real time, combine that recent information with its total learned knowledge, and produce very useful and comprehensive answers in a matter of seconds. Now, I've been using it for all my research ever since Elon released Grok 3, and I can tell you that I will never use the Google search engine again. Grok does in seconds what it would take minutes or even hours to accomplish using Google. And the results aren't heavily biased like Google's search results. Grok 3 is far superior, and it's why I believe it will disrupt the hegemony of Alphabet with its Google search engine. But that's going to be small potatoes compared to all the other disruptions that will come. Remember, once this AI evolves into a superhuman-like AI, it will have the ability to make all kinds of scientific discoveries in all kinds of fields. And that's why the CEO of NVIDIA is predicting a $100 trillion disruption that will affect every single industry on the planet. And today, you could go along for the ride by partnering with Elon. Now, in just a moment, I'll show you how you can claim your stake in XAI, starting with as little as $500 right from your computer. Just keep in mind, you are going to have to act fast because XAI's valuation is already exploding higher. You see, it took OpenAI 9 years to get to a $50 billion valuation. Get this, XAI did that in just 16 months. I'm not surprised though. Like I said, I believe XAI will go down as the most disruptive tech company in history. And you need to get in now while the company is private, because that's when the biggest gains could happen. If you wait until the company goes public, it will be too late. Look at what happened with other private companies that disrupted their industries. Let's take a look at Uber, for example. Before Uber, if we wanted to hail a taxi, we had to wait on the street and pray a taxi would show up. Now, all we have to do is press a button on our phone. That's real disruption. And whenever we see disruption at that scale, a lot of people get rich. Private investors who got into Uber in one of its early rounds in 2012 had a chance to turn $1,000 into almost $500,000. Now, of course, this Uber deal was off limits to everyday folks. Only rich people with connections got in. I'm talking about people like Jeff Bezos, who actually made $400 million from that deal. The most everyday folks, like you, had no choice but to wait until Uber went public. But by then, it was too late to make any big gains. In fact, take a look at this. Had you invested the same $1,000 on IPO day, you could have made a profit of $660. Isn't that insane? It's the same company. It's the same amount of money, the same amount of capital at risk, but the outcome is drastically different. In one situation, you walk away with a few $100s. In the other, you walk away with almost $500,000. Let's look at another example of disruption. Before Airbnb, whenever you traveled, you had to book a hotel room. Airbnb demolished that business model with its technology. Their idea was so powerful, they were able to go from just one listing in San Francisco to more than 7 million listings across the globe in over 220 countries. That's more listings than the 8 largest hotel groups combined. And that's why the lucky private investors who got in early had a chance to make massive gains. And those who participated in one of the early funding rounds in 2010 had a chance to turn $1,000 into a profit of over $1.2 million. Again, only rich people with connections were able to get into that deal. People like billionaire Peter Thiel. Everyday folks like you were forced to wait until the company's IPO. And of course, by then, it was too late. Take a look. Had you invested $1,000 when the company went public, you'd have a profit of a little over $1,000. Now take a look at this comparison. It is night and day. Can you see how everyday folks are just getting table scraps in the public market? It was the same story with Facebook, another startup that used technology to disrupt a massive industry. And in this case, of course, I'm talking about social media. Private investors who got into Facebook in one of its early funding rounds in 2005 had a chance to turn $1,000 into more than $3 million. And again, this deal was off limits to everyday folks. But billionaire Peter Thiel turned $500,000 into more than $1 billion. Everyday folks had to wait until the IPO. And had you invested $1,000 when the company went public in 2012, you would have had a profit of more than $16,000. That's 16 times your money. It's a great return, but it is not $3 million. Does that seem fair to you? Of course not. It's not fair. But this has been going on for decades, and that's why in just a few minutes, I'm going to walk you step by step on how you could invest in Elon Musk XAI while it's still a private company. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I can't promise that you'll make those types of gains the early insiders made in those other deals, but I believe it's one of the best investments you could make today. So, in just a moment, I'll show you how you could get started with as little as just $500. Now first, I just want to emphasize one more time how important it is for you to act fast. You see, the expansion of Colossus will require a lot more capital. Building these supercomputers is not cheap. A single AI chip from NVIDIA could cost as much as $40,000, and Elon is planning to buy 800,000 more chips. So if we do the math, that's up to $32 billion in chips alone. And on top of that, they need to invest more in infrastructure like power generation and cooling technology, battery backups. That's why XAI has been raising money every 6 months or so. The last time was in June of 2024. I expect another funding round as early as November 1st. And here is the key. You want to make sure you get in before then because as you can see here, the valuation has been increasing in each funding round. So if you want a shot at the biggest possible gains, you must get in now before the valuation increases again. So to help get you started, I put all the details inside a special report called Partnering with Elon Musk, How to Claim Your Stake in Project Colossus. And inside, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. I'll show you the website you need to go to and walk you step by step through the process. I promise this is as easy as buying any other stock, and you can get started with as little as $500. So, how can you claim this report? Well, I actually want to give you this report completely free of charge. All I ask in return is that you try out my monthly research service called the Near Future Report for the next 60 days at no risk to you. The Near Future Report is where I publish my best investment ideas every month, and I call it the near future because the future is coming much, much faster than we think. Technology is moving so fast that it's really hard for most of us to keep up, and I'm sure you've noticed it. By the time we hear about it from the mainstream media, it's already too late. Shares have already popped, and the big money has been made. So in the pages of the Near Future Report, I focus on identifying and profiting from big trends and the verge of mass adoption before they become breaking news on mainstream media. Just like I did with Tesla, with Bitcoin and NVIDIA, AMD, aside from showing you early stage trends and giving you a chance to get ahead of everyone else, in the pages of the Near Future Report, I also help you navigate the ups and downs of the stock market. For example, on March 17th, 2020, amid peak pandemic hysteria, I sent an urgent video to my readers and made a bold call. We actually have a clip of that. let me play that for you. Things are absolutely going to get better. Probably the best opportunity to make investments over the course of the next decade. 3 days later, the stock market began a historic bounce back, and since then, the S&P 500 has more than doubled. But some of my model portfolio picks jumped much higher. So if you had held on past their original recommendations and sold at their peak, you could have made as much as 2,899% in NVIDIA, Arista Networks as much as 769%, Palo Alto Networks 679%, and Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing 315%. These were all market-beating gains. Now remember, you can try the Near Future Report for the next 60 days at no risk to you, and when you do, I'll immediately send you the special report partnering with Elon Musk, how to claim your stake in Project Colossus. Now, normally, a 1-year subscription to the Near Future Report costs $499, but because time is of the essence here, I'm going to give you a huge discount, and I don't want the price to be an issue. The most important thing is that you get into this play now. But before I give you the details on this discount, I would like to tell you about another Elon Musk opportunity that I'm also excited about. You see, according to the CEO of NVIDIA, the next frontier of AI is physical AI. He said, the ChatGPT moment for general robotics is just around the corner. And that's another area of AI where I believe Elon will win. During an event in California in 2024, he revealed the latest version of his humanoid robot called Optimus. And in case you haven't seen the videos that went viral, here's a short clip. Elon predicted that in the future, everyone will want to own one of these Tesla robots. He has even gone so far as to say that at some point in the future, there will be more humanoid robots on Earth than there are humans. He believes it will become the biggest product ever of any kind. According to Goldman Sachs, it could become the next must-have device, just like smartphones. So let's say these robots are sold for around $25,000 each, which is the target price. I estimate there is a market demand for at least 1 billion humanoid robots in the world. So that's a $25 trillion market. The company or companies that dominate this market will be worth trillions, and that's why I'm extremely bullish on Tesla right now. They are leading the way. But aside from Tesla, I'm also recommending shares of another smaller Elon Musk supplier. This little-known company is already supplying Tesla with a key piece of sensor technology, so I wouldn't be surprised if they end up supplying Optimus with those sensors as well. In fact, Morgan Stanley just recommended this stock as one of the key ways to play this robotics trend, and they're not alone. Now, while most people are in the dark, a total of 39 hedge funds are investing in this little-known stock, and I don't want you to be left out, which is why I put all the details inside another bonus report called How to Profit from Elon Musk's Robotics Revolution. This report will also be yours at no additional charge the moment that you join the Near Future Report. I also want to give you access to another report called How to Profit from the Next NVIDIA. You see, today's AI chips are almost entirely made by NVIDIA. It's estimated that it controls 80% of the market. It's a big reason why shares of NVIDIA have skyrocketed by more than 23,000% since I first recommended it. In fact, the most important and widely used AI chip in the world today is NVIDIA's A100 GPU. Well, I found a company that has just developed an AI chip that's even more powerful than that. It has 50 times the computing power of the NVIDIA H100 chip. Researchers at Los Alamos National Laboratory recently tested this chip, and they were shocked. It performed 179 times faster than the world's most powerful supercomputer. That's why I believe this company's chips will help power all the next big AI innovations coming in the near future. Legendary investors on Wall Street are already pouring a ridiculous amount of money into this company. Billionaire Ken Griffin, the founder of the largest hedge fund in the world, Citadel, also took a stake. This is the man who made $16 billion in profits in 2022, the biggest annual windfall in the history of hedge funds. And get this, he recently dumped more than $1.1 billion worth of NVIDIA shares. Instead, He's now betting big on this company that could be the next NVIDIA. Famous billionaire Ken Fisher has poured almost $5 billion into this company as well. Stephen Cohen, Cathie Wood, Paul Tudor Jones, George Soros, they are all investing hundreds of millions of dollars combined in this company. These are the absolute kings of Wall Street. So let's ask ourselves, why are they all betting on this company most people have never heard of? I believe they're doing it because this company truly has the potential to become the next NVIDIA. And I put all the details, including the name of the company, in another report called How to Profit from the Next NVIDIA. It's also yours the moment that you take this risk-free subscription to the Near Future Report. So here's the deal. Like I mentioned earlier, the normal price for a 1-year subscription is $499. But today, you're going to get a huge discount. You can begin your risk-free subscription for just $179. And remember, I'm not even asking for any type of long-term commitment. You can just try it out and decide later if it's right for you. I'll give you 60 days to test out the service at no risk. And if during that period you find that you're not getting the best tech investing research you've ever seen, or for any reason at all, you can simply call our customer service team and cancel your subscription. We'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. And I'll let you keep everything that you received as a subscriber at no charge. That's right. You can keep all the issues. You can keep all these special reports that you see on your screen. Partnering with Elon Musk, how to claim your stake in Project Colossus, how to profit from the next NVIDIA, how to profit from Elon Musk's robotics revolution. You can keep everything. This means that there's no risk to you at all for this offer. To get started, simply click on the button below. You'll be taken to another page where you can review everything one last time. And look, if you're still not sure the Near Future Report is right for you, let me share a few emails that I got from my readers, and maybe that'll help you decide. Tim says, Jeff, I've been investing and working in the technology industry since 1985. Your insight and experience is easily the best I have ever read. I'm in my first year with you and have made good money with your recommendations. Thank you. Ruan says, I've been a loyal subscriber for some time now and greatly admire and appreciate the work that you do to bring us readers such quality recommendations. Your newsletters are well worth their weight in gold. And Leonard says, just wanted you all to know that this is the most trustworthy news and picks I ever came across. Hands down, my portfolio is nothing now but Jeff's picks, and I'm very pleased with how well they're performing. The best newsletter published, period. Keep up the great work. I love hearing these stories, and I'm so grateful for the feedback, and I want you to be the next success story. So please, click on that button to get started, and when you do, I'll give you access to one more bonus report called NVIDIA's Next Big Investment. You see, most people know that NVIDIA is the king of AI chips, but did you know that the company also has investments in more than 40 tech companies? And there's no greater vote of confidence than NVIDIA taking a stake in your company. In fact, whenever NVIDIA announces a new investment, that company tends to skyrocket. For example, this past February, it announced an investment in a company called Applied Digital, which designs, builds, and manages AI data centers. And it sent shares skyrocketing 34% in a week. It announced an investment in Recursion Pharmaceuticals, which uses AI to discover new drugs, sending shares up 27% in a week. It announced an investment in WeRide, a company specializing in autonomous vehicles and street cleaners, and shares more than doubled in less than a week. Now, I believe I found NVIDIA's next investment. It's a company that developed a more efficient way of transmitting data between AI systems. I put all the details inside this report, NVIDIA's Next Big Investment, and it will be yours the moment you click on that button and join the Near Future Report. Look, the lucky investors who were able to get into Elon Musk companies while they were still private hit the jackpot. Like I showed you earlier, they had a chance to make a lot of money. All those deals were off limits to everyday folks like you. And now, for the first time ever, you can actually claim a stake in Elon Musk's xAI while it's still a private company. This is a rare opportunity. And if you miss this, I believe you'll regret it for the rest of your life. So please, Click on that button to get started because I highly recommend you get in before the next funding round, which I estimate will happen by November 1st. Just to recap, here is everything you get when you take this risk-free subscription to the Near Future Report. 12 months of my very best investment ideas. Every month, you'll get a brand new issue of the Near Future Report with my top way of playing artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, robotics, self-driving cars, and all the most exciting tech trends of our time. Bonus number 1, partnering with Elon Musk, how to claim your stake in Project Colossus. Inside this report, I'll tell you how to get started with as little as $500. Bonus number 2 is called How to Profit from the Next NVIDIA. Inside, I'll tell you about a company that has just developed an AI chip that's 50 times more powerful than NVIDIA's H100 chip. You'll also get bonus number 3, how to profit from Elon Musk's robotics revolution. Elon Musk believes this is a $25 trillion opportunity, and I found an Elon supplier that I believe will end up playing a key role in this robotics revolution. Find out its name and all the details inside this report. You'll also get bonus number 4, NVIDIA's next big investment. And if I'm right, and I believe I am, once NVIDIA announces it to the world, the valuation could skyrocket. Aside from all these special reports, you'll also get full 24/7 access to our members-only website, and that's where you can access all the issues, all the special reports, any video updates, and our model portfolio where you can see all the current open positions. And of course, you'll get the full support from my team. Please feel free to call or email them for any help you need with your subscription, but please remember they cannot offer personalized investment advice. Please click below to get started because, like I showed you here today, you'll want to get in before the next funding round. If you wait, it could be too late. Look, this is your shot to partner with Elon Musk himself, the genius of our generation. Just imagine telling your friends and family that you now own a piece of Elon's XAI. Imagine telling them you have a stake in a company that I believe will be the biggest tech disruptor of this century. Just imagine telling them that you invested in the tech behind Grok. Please don't be left out. I believe the simple decision to act today could set you up financially for the rest of your life. I'm sure you'll make the right decision for you and your loved ones. Just click the button below to get started, and I look forward to welcoming you to the Near Future Report. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, we have so much to look forward to.